Hi, Jonathan York from Bay Financial Partners, looking at the investment markets. Potentially a little bit of a quiet week sort of this week on the markets with the US closed for July the 4th holidays. It's one of their big holidays through the year, so potentially activity will be a little bit sort of quiet until probably Saturday New Zealand time when we do see the latest unemployment report. That's going to be pretty interesting because that is still showing sort of jobs being created in the US. Then the Fed's really still pretty much on track to see a further rate increase in maybe October, November this year. Just interesting on the Fed, there's been a little bit of talk and sort of debate recently about increasing the inflation bands that central banks are trying to target. This really is a pretty radical move, but obviously after what we've seen in the last sort of 5 to 6 years with central bank intervention and sort of methods for trying to reflate economies, it's going to be pretty interesting. Because if they do look to increase the inflation targets, obviously that's still pretty positive for equities, probably pretty negative for bonds. While this is sort of early days in sort of negotiations and talk, it is interesting that there is a little bit of talk about it, and maybe central banks are looking to sort of increase the inflation bands. Interesting to see oil is back up, sort of rebounded pretty well from that sort of low 40s, back up now above sort of 45 quite comfortably, and probably going to sort of pivot around this sort of 45 to 50 sort of dollar range. Interesting to see New Zealand dollar obviously pretty high as well, especially against the US. And that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that sort of pans out over the next sort of 6 to 9 months. Because certainly if the US is looking at increasing interest rates, Reserve Bank here has said that interest rates are on hold until sort of 2019. That's probably going to put a little bit of pressure on the New Zealand dollar. Europe's still pushing along at a pretty good rate. As I say, it's going to be interesting to see how that sort of pans out over the Northern Hemisphere summer. But present European market's looking pretty reasonable shape, and so should look to push on a little bit higher. Still looking for income options here in New Zealand. There are plenty of options out there. Certainly bonds are still providing a pretty sort of low rate of return. And if you are looking for a little bit higher income option, so call us on 0800 867 323 or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz for lots of interesting articles, and we'll look forward to speaking to you soon.